because do you track macros?
No.
Neither of us track macros. It's working out pretty well.
Say so. Especially for you.
Ready or not, welcome back to another episode of the CBG Radio podcast. We've got a fun one for you today. We're going to talk about how you are wasting your money. The worst supplements that are out there. You shouldn't even be buying them. Just keep the money in your pocket, spend it on something else. And so we're going to go through that list. But before we do, something came to our attention. Gab found this pretty cool protein bar. New to her. I don't know if it's like new in general, but new to her. And they're these David protein bars.
I knew this was going to be it.
Have you heard of them?
Yeah, I have. They have amazing marketing.
Yeah, they really do.
Good marketing. Yep.
And I'll tell you what, I went to the West Side Market near my apartment and I saw them and I was like, oh, let me buy one of these. And it was like $7. So I was like, this protein bar better also do my taxes for $7 for one bar. But damn, I was like, okay, I'll pay whatever you want.
Yeah. So the question is, so we've got, you can see here total, these are the macro breakdown, total grams of fat, 14 carbs, 28 grams of protein. So Justin, the question is, the reason I want to bring this up is this protein bar CBG certified?
Yeah, I mean, I'm looking at the ingredients now. Pretty simple on the ingredients overall. The protein amount is double the carb amount. So we're not talking candy bar anymore.
Yep.
I haven't seen a protein bar like this. Holy crap.
I know, I hadn't either. Here's the protein system, they call it.
Yep. Fat system, flavor, super transparent with the ingredients, what they're doing. Seem like they have some good flavors. It just has to pass the taste test. So maybe I'll get one and maybe I'll get all four and then we can do a taste test on the,
there you go.
on the podcast.
They sell a sample pack on Amazon, 4 bars, all 4 flavors. I won't tell you. I bought the sample pack and I've tried them all. I'm happy to buy another one. We can do a taste test live on the air. I'm not going to tell you what I think, but.
Okay. Yeah. Well, from the macronutrient breakdown, which were for protein bars, guys, we're always looking at the protein to fat and protein to carb ratio, mostly the protein to carb ratio. This is absolutely outstanding. I don't know if I've seen one this good. So just has to pass the taste test. It looks like it has milk protein, which is going to include whey and casein protein. So some people may have sensitivities to either one of those. So just, be careful with this. Most people don't, but just so that it looks like it has egg whites. So a couple different types and collagen. So it has 4 or 5 different types of protein, which that's actually unheard of. You usually only see one, right? Maybe 2. This has whey, collagen, casein, and egg. Not bad. Wow. Allulose, which is a natural sweetener.
Is that like the new thing that's like been kind of taken the sugar by storm?
Yeah, it's kind of like a substitute. Yeah.
It supposedly doesn't raise insulin levels or something. I feel like in the diabetes realm is where I've heard of it or something like that.
Yeah, I think it digests a little slower, Gab. It's like a sugar alcohol. Sugar alcohols digest a little bit slower. I don't know. Yeah. I'd have to look up a little bit more specifically the details on it, but yeah. Wow.
So then it'll come down to the taste test to see if it dethrones. So this was what one of our past episodes. This was Bearbell's protein bar was the winner, was the king of the mountain then. So if it comes down to taste, if the taste is good, then we might have a new sheriff in town.
Yeah, maybe we'll get a sponsorship from David Protein.
There you go, David. Look us up.
There you go, David.
David, if you're listening, and we know that you are.
Yeah, exactly. All right. Let's get to the worst supplements. Stop wasting your money on these things. So the very first one, Justin, I've heard you talk about this in other videos and things. BCAAs. So what is the problem with BCAAs?
What's not the problem? Jeez, man. They're bad, guys. I know, like, they have a cool little acronym, BCAAs. I think that helps their sell and market in general. It stands for branch chain amino acids, and a lot of people, amino acids associated with protein, that must be good. And there's so much wrong with branch chain amino acids, or BCAAs, right? Number one, they're extremely expensive, right? Especially considering what they do. Any single company that sells branch chain amino acids, automatic red flag for me, right? Like, they're literally just trying to sell you trash at that, because it doesn't do anything, right? And the reason it doesn't do anything, there are several branch chain amino acids: isoleucine, valine, right? I think there are 3 or 4. And they're included, I think it's 3 actually. They're included in these branch chain amino acid supplements. All right. They have a specific chemical structure, and they are a part of the, I believe it's 20 like needed amino acids in the body. Right. And the way that we grow muscle is we need a certain amount of protein, but we need also a plethora of each and every essential amino acid out there to be able to activate mTOR, to be able to grow and repair muscle tissue, and to grow more muscle. All right. Or grow your muscle fiber larger is the correct way to say that. And BCAAs only have 3, right? Whereas a steak has all of them. An egg has all of them, right? Any animal-based protein has all of it. It's a full and complete protein source. BCAAs is what's 20 divided by 3 divided by 20. They only have 3 divided by 20. It's around 10%, 15% of the necessary amino acids that your body needs to actually grow, repair, and just build, larger muscle fibers, right? And so therefore, this is like the good analogy people use is this is kind of like trying to build a car with only 3 of the 20 you need, right? Like, you have the engine, the wheels, and the doors. You don't have the steering wheel, you don't have the transmission, you don't have the bumpers, you can't build the car, right? And so it's a complete waste of money, a complete scam. And just take my word for it. Get a great protein powder that you're not sensitive to, that you like, incorporate it daily post-workout, and get in plenty of protein and varying sources of protein throughout your diet, and save the money.
So then this claim of enhance muscle recovery, reduce muscle soreness, and bolster muscle protein synthesis, you're saying that's a lie?
It's a complete and utter lie. Yeah. A lot of nutrition-based studies, so they didn't even link a study here, but even if they did, a lot of studies are conflated, right? Because people have their diet that they're following while they're a participant in a study and they're taking these BCAAs. And so what you want to look for is randomized control trials that allow people to know that they're not taking the necessary stuff, the substance that that the study is on, and or given a placebo, so that you can accurately test between the two. But then also you have the lifestyle factors. How hard are these people training? Are they doing progressive overload? The stress in their life. What age are they versus other participants in the study? What gender are they versus other participants in the studies? It's very hard to do nutrition studies. And it's known unequivocally that BCAAs don't do anything.
There you go.
Also, so transparent labs, already a red flag. I wouldn't buy anything from transparent labs just because of the fact that they sell branched chain amino acids. Honestly, maybe they have other good supplements. Not saying that. I'm just saying that they don't do anything.
Yeah.
So.
And it says many BCAA supplements contain low-grade amino acids derived from human hair.
Okay, so there's only 3. There's only 3 branch chain amino acids. So yeah, that's super weird.
Yeah.
Yeah. If you're hitting your protein goal every day, you don't need this. Like, you don't need to
Yeah.
supplement with anything like this. It's 3 of the 9 essential. Like, what the hell can you do with that? It's
Yeah.
garbage.
Yeah.
All right. Next one. Fat burners. Gab, why is
So
this a waste of money?
first of all, just use some common sense. If it were that easy, there would just be no need for any other, like CBG wouldn't exist, right? You would just take a fat burner and then your body fat would go away. Done. So that's number one. Number two, most of these supplements are just completely full of caffeine. And so the idea is that the caffeine is going to quote unquote boost your metabolism. And that may be the case for a short time where you are living at this higher heart rate and everything is kind of happening much faster in your body, which makes it a miserable experience, because if you ever had too much caffeine, it's not fun to live that way. But B, you're not actually having any lasting fat loss. It's just a temporary, it's like watching a scary movie and your heart rate goes up. Like, yeah, for a moment you might be burning some more calories, I guess, but that doesn't mean that you are going to be losing any more body fat. If anything, it's more likely going to do more harm than good, because you're overloading your system with caffeine. And oftentimes there's a casein in there too, like what's in spicy foods. I'm sorry, not casein.
This is
Capsaicin.
Cayenne. Yeah, okay, is that
Capsaicin, which is the
That's the active ingredient in there. You see it, CAPSICUM.
oh yeah.
There, Joel, you see it.
all right, I'm trying to make it bigger for you.
25 milligrams.
Yeah. So capsaicin is what's in like jalapenos and spicy peppers that makes them spicy. So you're taking spicy things and caffeine and expecting it to burn fat. It's not. I wish it were that easy, but it unfortunately is very much not. So it's a waste of money. It's a waste of time. And you're honestly probably going to feel like garbage.
Yeah. I feel like fat burners are like, if some people are just like, this is why we do this podcast, to let people know, like, hey, don't buy these. They're not going to do anything for you, right? Sometimes they act as a placebo for people to actually start doing something because they're taking something to help with fat loss. And then other people, like, they know damn well this is not going to do anything, and they're taking it or using this as a crutch for them to avoid the hard work that they know they need to do to lose the fat that they want. So either way, wherever you're at with any of those things, like, complete waste of money. It's not necessary. And to clarify something Gab said earlier, she's correct. So there's 20 total amino acids, 9 are essential, and only 3 of those are in BCAAs, right? So I was saying 20 are not essential, 9 are essential, is 20 total. But yeah, fat burners, complete waste of time and money.
Yeah. I once, many, many, many years ago, worked at a gym as a coach, and the owners of the gym decided they were going to do like a body transformation challenge with all of the coaches. So they made us all take fat burners. I'm dead serious. And
Like
I thought I was going to die. Like, I couldn't sleep at night. I spent the whole day like this. I was throwing up. It was horrible. And you know what? I looked exactly the same at the end. It did nothing.
Interesting.
Yeah.
All right. The next one. Greens powders.
Yeah.
Got to get those veggies in powder form.
This is a newer supplement of the ones we've talked about. I think fat burners have the longest history. Green powders are fairly new. And it's obviously, greens powders are a way for people to substitute vegetables, right? Or in fruits. The problem is they don't really have any fiber in them, which is like the whole biggest point as to why we eat fruits and vegetables, right? They don't have any fiber in them. It's like such a low amount. It's insane how low it is. And so they're really not going to do anything for you, to be quite honest. There's not much more to say. Like, eat actual fruits and vegetables. Gab, I don't know if you have something you want to add on your end.
They're so expensive. There's
Yeah.
absolutely no fiber. And at the end of the day, I think just like we were saying that sometimes a fat burner can be a placebo effect to make better choices, I think these greens powders have the opposite effect where somebody has greens in their,
Yeah.
water bottle in the morning and then they think, well, I don't need to eat any more veggies. I had all these greens today. I'm ahead on my veggies. And then they're missing out on really important fiber. And I think the micronutrient situation in a greens powder is fine, but you could also just take a multivitamin and you would essentially have the exact same impact. It would be cheaper. It would be probably taste better. And ultimately, like you're just as void of fiber throughout your day. So eat some real vegetables and stop trying to get out of doing the work. Like just eat you need vegetables. Stop trying to find a workaround. Just eat them.
Eat them, yeah. Put them in stuff like stir fries and like mix them in, right, with other foods, and or eat fruit. Like if you don't like vegetables, eat fruit instead, right? Super satiating, really great for you. You know, the peels of everything have good fiber in them, right, which is great. Just do that instead. Even with the multivitamin thing, I don't think multivitamins are really that useful either. Like there's just an arbitrary random percentage amount of micronutrients and vitamins in them when you're likely getting all you need from food. And if you're not, you're in a country, most people listen to us are in the US, should not be malnourished on the food and food quality that they can have access to. So just eat real food.
There you go. Yeah, if you're someone like me that struggled with vegetables, that's what I did, was focus more on fruit, like berries and stuff like that.
Yep.
And because I would be someone that would be tempted by this because I don't like vegetables at all.
Yeah.
Gab knows.
You'd be no better off taking this. You'd just be less.
You think you would be, but you wouldn't.
Yeah.
You just have less money.
Yeah.
Yeah, exactly.
All right, next one. All right, we've talked about this one before.
Oh, snap.
Element or elementee. I can never bring myself to just say element. Like I always just want to say the letters.
Elementee. Yeah.
Elementee.
So obviously outside of the scandal of not what we did a podcast on it not too long ago, right? So if you missed that, go back to that episode where they didn't actually provide the full list of ingredients inside of the product, right? Which is can be very dangerous. We brought that up on the podcast before. If people have allergies and things like that to it, it's a very small amount, right? Because the packet is already so small, right? But if you have an allergy, it's really, really dangerous, right? Either way, right? The lack of transparency there is already a red flag for me. And then what's in it. So we have magnesium, we have potassium, we have sodium, right? All those are very important for people working out. There's no contesting that, right? Like what these different salts do is they go across ion channels, and as they go across ion channels and they're transported in and out of cells, they help actually recruit muscle fiber and create action potentials for muscles to fire, whether you're doing a bicep curl or a pull up and all that stuff, right? So having this in your diet is super important. Sodium, potassium, magnesium, right? Couple of issues that I have with it as to why it's on the list today. Number one, these amounts are insane. Like no one needs this amount in one shot, right? Unless you're training, I would say like hour and a half, 2 hours, 2.5 hours. Like if you're training that long, then go for it, right? If you're an hour, you're doing your 4 to 5 watts per week, you can get all of these things, the magnesium, the potassium, and the sodium, just in your regular diet, right? And then second, it's just how expensive it is. It's expensive salt. It's expensive salt, dude. Like that's it. It's just really expensive salt. So magnesium you get naturally from your diet. Potassium, you can buy new salt from Amazon, NU-SALT, and you could salt your foods with it, just as you do Himalayan salt, which is sodium, right? Or regular table salt, which is sodium. And you can get all of this without buying LMNT, right? And when you think about the idea of a supplement is supposed to give you the ability to get something not in your diet and take it exogenously. That's what a supplement, like if you think of the word, like supplement, like supplement it, like add it in, right? Because you can't get it somewhere else. outside of like protein powder, which helps you hit your protein goal, and creatine, and maybe like beta alanine if you're a high performing athlete, beetroot juice, some of those things, there's not really much else, right? And caffeine, okay? Everything else you can naturally get very easily from your diet in the appropriate amounts, just eating throughout the day, right? Even if you're not a great eater, you can get most of it, right? Creatine, protein powder, some of those things, it's harder or very difficult. Like the amount of meat you'd have to eat to get enough creatine is insane, right? So that's why you supplement with it. It's worth the money to supplement with it because you have these goals and they're attached to something that you can't naturally get from your diet. Dude, you can buy like I don't know, you can buy like 500 pounds of salt for like under $100 probably. Like you don't need to supplement with LMNT. If you like it, you like the taste and you don't care and you got, you prefer, that's where you want to spend your money. That's awesome. Right. But it's very expensive. Table salt is that's my take on it. So
I want to start by saying that I like Element Tea. I have some in my kitchen. So number one, I have no issue with this company. Number two, I think the problem with what they do is that they're not, I think they know that their ideal clientele is a pretty small percentage of the population, but they're trying to broaden their client base by marketing to people who don't really need it. So I discovered Element Tea when I was training for a 100-mile race. And I needed it bad. I needed to take multiples of them a day. I was running more than the average person can fathom. And it was really important. For the average CrossFitter doing 4 to 5 WODs per week, it's really not necessary. I know people who are taking one, people who do not need to take it at all, who are taking one every morning when they wake up. And they're actually dehydrating themselves by having so much salt because their regular water intake is just not where it needs to be. So they're starting out in a negative because they're drinking so much salt, their mouth gets dry, their urine is like this crazy dark color, and they're never really catching up. So if you are training for a marathon, if you are an ultra endurance athlete, if you are somebody whose job is very physical and you're in a very warm environment, you're sweating profusely all day, then this may be something that is good for you. But if you're just an average exerciser, you don't need it. And they know that. But they're not going to make money only marketing to ultra endurance athletes or this very small percentage of the population. So I think you have to really know yourself and know your nutritional requirements. This is not something that needs to be taken every single day just because you need salt every day. You can get plenty of electrolytes in your food. If you are somebody that is in that small percentage of the population, then you would know it. A lot of us supplement with like salt tablets, which are significantly less expensive. Sometimes when I run marathons, I just have literal salt packets on me, like that you get in the to-go container from a restaurant with your little fork and knife. Like pouring that into your mouth will do it. So yeah, if you like the taste of LMNT, if it's something that you are just more likely to do than pouring salt straight into your mouth, cool. But not everybody needs this.
Yeah, and it becomes more of a supplement for those people that are doing longer distance, longer endurance. Now it's a supplement. It's actually something you can't get naturally from your diet in those quantities unless you like the saltiest chicken ever, right? Right. Or you're going to eat chicken or salt packets like Gab said she does, right? I prefer to have some Element Tea in a bottle and drink it as I'm going along, right? Or have like some Cliff Block chews that have like some sodium in them plus the carbs, right? Like something that actually is now a supplement because of how you're training, the mechanism at which you're training, and the duration at which you're training, right? So yeah, I think you're right about that, Gab, and how it works. And look, capitalism, go for it, right? Like you're out there, you're getting you're getting your money, awesome. But it's also our job to educate as nutrition coaches that if you're working out an hour a day, you're not sweating a bunch, you likely don't need it. And if you want to save some money, like, you don't need to buy it.
So I've noticed that just looking at this, because of the maltodextrin controversy, they've taken all of the no sugar like stuff off of their marketing stuff. but they
Yeah.
still don't mention anything about maltodextrin.
Wow.
Like, because if you look at the formulation, there's nothing in there about it. And because wasn't it like, if I remember correctly, we won't spend too much more time on this, but wasn't it like hidden in this like citric acid or something like that, or the natural flavors or something? It was something like that.
Yeah, it may have been a part of something like that. I don't remember exactly, but I know it wasn't listed transparently
Yeah, and it's
in
still
there. If I were them, I would just put at the top banner in red, "We're sorry, maltodextrin is in Element A." And you know what? Them owning that for like the next 3 to 4 months, no
it'd
problem.
probably be fine.
And most people are just like, "Oh, it has maltodextrin. It's such a small amount. Who cares? And I'm not allergic to it. I'm going to keep buying Element T because I like it." That's it.
Yeah.
You know? Yeah, interesting. But
All right, we've got women specific marketing I put on here. So
this is my
there's
favorite one.
probably several products that could fall into this category, right? I feel like cleanses are really marketed towards women. I feel like Gab, you had one earlier, I think, that you'd said before we started recording that was like specific to women. I'm trying to it was the natural Ozempic.
Yes, berberine.
Yeah.
All right, so I'm gonna pick mine, and then Gab can talk about the berberine stuff. Anything in a pink fucking bottle that says it's for women is literally just trying to capitalize on the fact that you're a woman. And that's it. So like creatine in a pink bottle, creatine for women, it's a scam. The creatine is the exact same. Take 3 to 5 grams daily, every single person, right? Unless you're like under 100 pounds or you're like over 300, you're in the 3 to 5 gram range. That's where you need to be, right? You don't need a creatine for women in a pink bottle. They're literally just upcharging double the price of what actual creatine, or more, honestly. And so anything women specific like that is an absolute waste of money. So don't fall for it.
Yeah. I had to go to this local like supplement store near me yesterday, actually, to grab a couple of things that I needed for the week. And I saw this pink bottle that was acting as if it was some kind of like, it said GLP-1 like supplement or something like that. And it was pink and it was obviously marketed to women. And it was sort of like, if you take this, it's going to do the same thing that Ozempic does. Yeah. And I want to start by saying I have no issue with Ozempic. I think it serves a purpose. I think it's definitely got its place, but there is no pill that they sell over the counter that is going to do for you what Ozempic does. Number one. Number two, most people don't want what Ozempic does. Like, I know it seems like, oh my gosh, it's going to make you lose all this weight so quickly. It's great. It's so easy. Most of you don't want that because it's not going to make you any happier with your body composition. And it's probably going to do more harm than good. So that's number two. But number three, it's such garbage. Nothing that you can take orally once a day that they sell at the corner store is going to have that same impact on you. I don't care what they call it. Berberine, like nature's Ozempic. No, absolutely not. If anything, it's going to give you crazy diarrhea. So best of luck with that. And, ultimately, like, it's insulting, I think, to our intelligence that they can put something in a pink bottle and sell it to you and be like, oh, it's going to act like Ozempic and it's going to make you skinny. Isn't that what you want? Isn't that what you're looking for? Like, just no, enough. Use your common sense.
Yeah, I was trying to find which one you were talking about.
I'll take a picture of it next time I go back to that store.
There's a few now. Berberine's the most common, but there are a few others that they're marketing as like natural GLP-1s and stuff.
But they call it like Ozempatide or something like that, where like the first part of the word is Ozempic. So you're like, oh.
Yeah.
Let me see if I can find it. It's like Ozempatide.
Yeah. I think I've seen it from Thorne. Thorne's usually a very stand-up company. And looks like they were selling berberine, but I don't think weight loss was the only claim that they made. I think they made several other claims as to what berberine does. But there are not a lot of studies. Yeah, there are just not a lot of studies that show that berberine actually helps with weight loss. I mean, it's so inconclusive. It's not going to do what you think it's going to do. Sorry, unfortunately.
Yeah, they say maintaining healthy cholesterol and blood sugar levels, promoting G1 microbial balance, and supporting healthy metabolism.
Yeah,
is their claim. All right, did you find it?
No, anytime you type in because I'm not positive it was ozempatide, but when you type it in, it's like, oh, you mean Ozempic? Like, no, Google, that's not what I mean.
All right, last one. So we had women specific, so this one's obviously dude specific. So the testosterone boosters.
Yeah, this is the one for men. Yeah, these don't work, guys. I think there's some studies out there that show good levels of zinc are great for keeping testosterone levels at in a good range. Other than that, you need to be eating plenty of protein. You need to be strength training. Testosterone boosters are a complete waste of money. I feel like these were a decade ago. People were really falling for this trap. And I think men have figured out that, whether it be from the low T stuff that people are going to their doctors for now, they've moved away from this, which I'm happy to see, because these testosterone boosters are really just another placebo, expensive placebo.
Yeah, right, it feels to me like we moved away from SARMs once people started to have like really negative side effects, and now it's like testosterone booster, because didn't SARMs like start lowering the testosterone levels of men in like rapid rates?
Yeah, I think SARMs were like replacing of actual steroids.
Right. But it was like legal and healthier, even though it wasn't. But then everybody was like, oh, I have no testosterone now that I stopped these SARMs.
You stopped, yeah. And they're more specific. So SARMs had lower side effects than anabolic steroids. So yeah, no surprise here that Jocko is providing a test booster.
Yeah. Right, so. I also feel like there's this like really interesting marketing ploy where
Jocko Greens. Look at that.
Oh my God, how funny is that? Of course. I feel like these companies capitalize on like the everyman's fear of being what's the word I'm looking for? Like emasculated. It's like, don't be less of a man. Take this testosterone booster or else you're going to turn into a lady. It's like, it's so like, same thing with the female marketing, right? You better take this or else you're going to be less pretty than all the other girls. It's like, what are we doing?
Yeah. Yeah. And last note before we go, because we gotta wrap this up. Anything that has a proprietary blend on the back is a scam.
Yeah.
Anything that has proprietary blend and doesn't tell you what's in it, or just lists like a couple things with arbitrary amount, it's a complete and total scam. So just avoid anything that has a proprietary blend.
Oh, because they can just say proprietary blend, but not tell you what the actual blend is.
Or the amounts and all that stuff. Yeah, they can do whatever they want. Yeah.
I gotcha. Yeah, what I brought up on that Jocko one is you mentioned zinc, and there's like a ton of zinc in this.
Yeah, that zinc does help with some of that. I mean, 15 milligrams is not. Okay, so yeah, I mean, 15 milligrams overall is a decent amount. That's probably, if anything, doing something, which you don't need to take a $100, $80, whatever it is, booster for that. So, yeah.
Oh, this is on Walmart. I didn't even notice that. They sell Jocko fuel at Walmart.
Yeah.
There you go. All right. Well, that's going to do it for today's episode. So hopefully that will help keep your wallets more full by not wasting your money on these garbage supplements. So comment below if you've fallen victim to these supplements, and or if you just absolutely love them. Let us know why we're wrong, I guess. And then we'll bring up your comment on another episode, and Justin can beat you up. So but there will be a link in the description if you want more help, because they part of CBG coaching, they will tell you the supplements to take. They will say, if you want to take supplements, here's what we tell you to take. They'll tell you when to take them too. I remember in my blueprint, it said it had specific time frames as well of when to take them. So if you want that help, then use that link, book a call, and CBG will help you out. So I'm Joel, for Justin, for Gab. We will see you next time, and quit tracking your macros. Peace out, everybody.